Well, that time has finally arrived. I and many others called it. I said that her campaign would not run until and probably in somewhere around March of next year. If I was a betting man, then I would have lost that bet because it was too far out. I just received this notification from my Yahoo News app saying that Kamala Harris has pretty much dropped out of the Democratic race. And it happened way sooner than I had expected. I thought she was going to at least survive into into next year, a little bit into next year, but she didn't even make it through the end of 2019. I can't say that I'm upset like many others. And you know what probably helped with this happening? That scathing letter. Now, those were their words. That scathing letter that came from one of her aides that used to work for her. And I didn't get a chance to read it, but when someone says scathing, that means it was very intense and very, very, I can say, let's just put violence in text. Not saying that they wanted to harm her or anything like that, but it revealed some things about her that people didn't like. But the thing is, people already didn't like her. It's just the fact that we were just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and the other shoe has indeed dropped, and she has now dropped out of the race. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that says Harris to end Democratic presidential campaign dated December 3rd, 2019, posted at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Democratic Senator Kamala Harris is expected to end her campaign for the Democratic presidential nomination, according to a campaign official. The official requested to be anonymous to speak about Harris's plans. Her decision to exit the race comes after months of trying to recreate the momentum from her January campaign launch, which drew 20,000 people in her home state of California. Harris was once considered a front-runner in the crowded Democratic field, but saw her campaign eclipsed by rivals such as Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg. She had been heavily focused on the state of Iowa. She'll remain California's junior senator until her term ends in 2022. Well, that is the end of the road for Kamala Harris, and for many of us who really didn't like her, that is news to our ears. But the thing is, we already knew she wasn't going to get it. Many of us already came to terms and knew that she was not going to get it. Many of her so-called supporters, they gonna be upset. Let them be mad. They'll get over it. Like they've been getting over a lot of other things lately. And she pretty much lost that momentum that, like they said, she lost the momentum that she had back in January. Like, she probably thought she had this thing in the bag earlier this year, but that was way too early to start celebrating. If you still had that momentum now, then maybe you could, because then you were basically less than a year out from what possibly could be a life-changing position for you. But see, between her getting ahead of herself, her saying stuff about black people when they were asking what she's going to specifically do for us, specifically black Americans, and how she said, no, I'm not going to do that was a strike one right against her. And then people remember what she did to black men in particular when she was the senator, when she was the DA in California a few years ago, and even up to recently, people still remember. And then, of course, let's not forget how she got into that position and who she had to sleep with, or not had to sleep with, but chose to, I should say, to get to her position. It's a host of things that happened. But then, if y'all remember a few videos back when I talked about her and how a lot of her campaign aides or people who were working with her campaign were dropping like flies, and how she had to downsize and then cut down on people, and stuff like that. That's when I knew she was done. I called this out in that video, and that was back in October, I think, when I talked about it. And then I saw when that other video I did about her campaigning to Native Americans, the lowest group of people percentage-wise. That's who you were campaigning to. That's who you thought you were going to go in. Like I said, she literally hopscotched between every group. She never really had a huge base with one group. She was going back and forth between multiple groups or whoever she thought would like her. or tolerate her. And to truth be told, the fact that she did that let us know that nobody tolerated her. It wasn't just black people that didn't like her, it was white people that didn't like her, Hispanic people didn't like her, Asians didn't like her, and everywhere else in between did not really care for her. And she never could really grasp that. That's why she was just literally hanging on for dear life. Her campaign was literally on life support. Probably the minute that it started, she just didn't know it. She did all that dancing and all that shucking and jiving, and look at what it got her. Out of the damn race. Now she's probably going to bank that somebody is going to pick her up to possibly be a vice president candidate, but I wouldn't press my luck on that one. Either Kamala Harris, or as some people call her, Scamala Harris. But it is what it is. So that's another one done bit the damn dust. So now it's down to what? Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg. And I think it's like some others that I really can't think of the names of them now. And has Cory Booker dropped out? Because I haven't heard from Cory Booker in a while. Has he officially dropped out? Because I don't remember cueing the violins on him either. Not that I would really want to cue the violins on him, because he shouldn't have been in the damn race anyway. He was about as worse, if not even worse than Kamala Harris was, as far as running a shitty campaign. But all's well that ends well, of course. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.